Hello and welcome to Victoriana. It's the beginning of June and Millie and I are just doing the first side shooting and tying in the tomatoes for the year. This is something we do every week, every Saturday through the whole of the summer. It's our favourite job and we've been doing it now for 3 years, haven't we, together?
Yeah.
And we really enjoy it. Thankfully the weather has finally brightened up a little bit and things are actually starting to grow now. It's been a pretty difficult year up till now, but thankfully now things seem to be on the move. And so we'll just give you a quick run around the nursery and show you what we've been up to elsewhere. So here in the veg tunnel we've moved the asparagus out now, and that's gone outside for a rest, which has given us a little bit of extra space for the strawberries. We've spaced those out now, and the first of the fruits are colouring up. I'm just trying to find one. There's a nice one there, which is just coloured up. So it won't be long before we're harvesting those. Similarly, the broad beans that we've grown in containers, we've got some nice sized beans on those, and also round on the Douce Provence peas, we've had our first picking of peas as well. So all in here, very pleased. Usually by now we've actually taken all this stuff out and moved it into spare space in the greenhouse, and moved the tomatoes and chilies in. But with the continued cooler nights, we've actually decided to keep those in the house that does have heating if it's needed, and is just a little bit warmer because it's the double bubble construction. So they're going to stay in there for another week or two before we move these bits out and move the tomatoes and chilies in. So here in the new orchard area, everything has come on leaps and bounds. It's been planted now, I think it's about 3 months since we put the trees in. Everyone's taken. We haven't watered at all in here because obviously we've had a heavy rainfall, and even in the last few weeks the rain's come at just the right time, sort of a day before we've thought better water those tomorrow. But everything's coming to growth nicely. We've had reasonable flower bloom, and hopefully we're going to see some fruit as well, because we haven't had too many late frosts up here. So no, really pleased. First year, and yeah, looking really good. Again, out here on the veg garden, things have come on leaps and bounds. Brassica cage is all planted up. It's scary to think we're not going to be eating much of that until next winter, and it's still so cold at night you'd almost think it is winter now. The spuds have made it up. We've had some damage this year, strangely, with pheasants pulling lots of things up. Including pulling up the spuds just as they were coming through. Fortunately that seems to have subsided now. Over on the other bed here we've also got quite a few crops sown, and you can see the usual haze of weed coming through as well, so we'll need to be getting on and hoeing that off quite soon. And down here the new Chinese artichoke bed has all come through as well, so we're pleased there. Got the pea cage up. We're late with getting the pea cage up this year, but again it's temperature, why we haven't bothered to plant out just yet, but that's the job for this week. Put the lid on that. Again, that's to keep the pigeons off, and then we'll plant the peas inside the cage and they grow up. They'll be our climbing peas, and yeah, no, so it's really all systems go out here at the moment. So the herb garden has more than established itself. As you may or may not remember, this was replanted in the autumn of last year, in the early autumn. Now it desperately needs a weed through and a trim back, but everything's come on really well. We're very pleased. Got some nice big angelica there, and got some lovage and other things further on. So yeah, very happy really in here. It's come on very well. Just needs some TLC and attention now, which it will get in the next week or so. So the flower area has now all been planted up. The sweet peas are in. Slow, again, temperature. Lots of other bits and pieces have been planted and sown as well, so we're just waiting for everything to come through before we decide which needs hoeing out and which doesn't. But yeah, it's really starting to show what it's going to look like in just a few weeks' time. And when you go back a month and think that there was nothing here at all, it's quite amazing what you can do with a few plants, and particularly as a lot of these were sown just a few months ago, and now they're up and in, and this is going to look a real picture. So here in the prop beds we're still absolutely chocker as well. These are actually some of the pumpkin plants that will be going out in a week's time to local primary schools. Competition we've run every year, and these will be going out to the kids for free, and then later on in the autumn we'll go round and see what they've grown and judge the results, which is all a bit of fun. But at the moment it's taking a bit too much room of our prop that we actually need. So these are going to be moving out into cold glass tomorrow and getting some space, as will the others. There's more behind me and more over here as well. A couple of thousand in total. But yeah, so on the beds themselves we're still producing lots of successional sowings of herbs and young veg plants, and also thinking now for perennials and bits and pieces for next year. So it is just a real continual cycle. And then if we go over there, they shouldn't be in here either, but they are. They're the tomatoes, and just in front of them, can't see them, are the chilies. They're going to stay in here, as I said, for a week or two more, just so we know we're not going to get caught out on a late frost or a chilly night, because this house is heated and the veg tunnel isn't. So, as I say, they're in here for another week or so, and then we'll move them over, and we have a bit more room in here as well, which will be wonderful. So out in the cell area, we're chocker as well. Lots and lots of things have come out from protection under glass and out of the bubble, and growing away nicely. So there's some lovely pagoda primroses there just coming into flower, and next to them some aquilegias and some monkey flowers over there somewhere in flower. And then running all the way along in the cage to keep the horrible pigeons away, lots and lots of young brassica plants. And up the far end there's peas, and yeah, really we are full to the gunnels, and it's that time of year where things are in and out and in and out, and running out of space one minute, then lots of space the next. So all good fun. As one would expect for this time of year, up here in the top house, we're a bit emptier. Some space is opening up as more and more goes outside. Obviously this big lump of space here is going to be filled up with those pumpkins I just mentioned, and we can space them out in here. But yeah, so we've still got crops coming in here, and we're still making use of the heat that there is. But as soon as we can get stuff outside, we really do like to, and hence why there's quite a few gaps. It's also time for a weed through and a tidy up, which we will get through. But at the moment it's produce, and hopefully in a week or two's time we'll actually get round to catching up on some of the tidying up and weeding through jobs. So down here on the beds, we really are chocker now. All the fruit trees we potted earlier in the year are now down here, and obviously quite a lot are still in flower, which is excellent. And similarly round on the shrub beds, they're chocker as well, and everything's greened up and really starting to look very nice for this time of year. So it's been late coming, but June is here and the season has warmed up enough for things to really start get going now. So hopefully the weather's going to continue now all through June, and things can only but improve. So we'll catch up with you at the beginning of July, I should think.